friends, this video is going to be about server migration, which I have heard actually from a very reliable source, Toby himself, that it will be quote-unquote soon. I had heard it from unreliable sources before that. They had said customer service said it was coming possibly this month, but fingers crossed, soon. Soon is very exciting. I was on server 5. I started playing on server 20 for reasons. Server 20 was super toxic, so I came back to 5, and I very much appreciate 5 a lot more now, having played on an incredibly toxic server. I wanted to recommend you all to migrate to server 5 if you can. I know a lot of the older servers have gotten to be pretty boring. Our server is pretty exciting. For an old server, it's obviously not new server exciting, but we have 3 very strong alliances at the top. We have 3 kind of mid-range alliances with about 10 to 25 players in them, I would say. That's Pro, DOC, and EEE. And then pretty much from that point on, it's farm alliances or 1 or 2 person alliances. But most of the old servers only have 1 strong alliance, or they have a strong alliance with the farm alliance, or they have a strong alliance with an okay-ish secondary alliance. Very few, especially older servers, have 3 strong, capable alliances. Like, we have a stronghold that we fight over, and all 3 of us have a shot over it each time. So it just kind of depends on who shows up. We all have strong players, all great alliances. I am in TaT, the number 2 alliance on the server, and I highly recommend them. Even though we are the number 2 on power, it is a lot of active power, which I don't necessarily know is the case for the number 1 alliance. Our team has about 80 active players, and last block conquest we had 65 registered. That being said, I would highly recommend joining TaT, and I'm not just saying that because I want you to come here and be strong and make us stronger. Obviously, I would really, really love to see a few more Stellar 3, Stellar 4 kind of fountains join our alliance. I think it would make us even very, very competitive against the new servers that are going to be going pretty hard and have some pretty big whales. But the reason I highly recommend TaT is because it's a great environment. People are really nice. They're great players. They're knowledgeable players. They're also friendly to new players. I send out a lot of guides and help for new players, just like I make these videos. I've had days where I had a really rough day, or other people had really rough days, and it's just a very supportive group, and they always just know exactly what to say. It's really amazing. I can't say enough about them. For similar reasons, I also recommend TCS. Great players, knowledgeable players, also friendly to new players, but really, really nice people. Even when we were the number 1 hardcore pushing alliance, it was almost crazy to me how friendly everybody was. So both of those alliances very, very friendly. Now that I'm in TaT, they are allies with PTP, so I've gotten to know them a little bit more. They've also grown since the server first opened. They're good people too. Everything is shared. There's not any drama. Now with server versus server, the Kingdom Showdown, the atmosphere is very cooperative and fun, and people talk a lot in world chat. A lot of times there is a lot of album spamming, but lately there has been actually even a lot of talk in world chat, so it's really fun. It's a great environment. Anyways, so I recommend TaT. TCS is awesome, and PTP is always an option too. There are a lot of really great, really strong players on our server. Our R5 is Julia. She is the number 1 on power on our server. Storm is very close to her. He's in TCS. He's one of the R4s. Tux is an R4 at PTP, even when I really, really disliked PTP. I always respected him. He's a great player. He's a great leader. He's very knowledgeable. If you look at the fountain levels, TCS has 2 Stellar 5s, Janine being the other one. She's very quiet, but she's very sweet. We obviously have some 4s. Let's see. PTP has 1. My friend GT also has a 4. And then TaT has 4 Stellar 4s. So no Stellar 5s, but we're getting really close. I think Julia's really, really close. Then we just have a ton of Stellar 3s in both our alliance and just in general on the server. I think, let's see, so those are all Stellar 3. Stellar 2 started at 37. And then these are all Stellar 2s. Stellar 1s start at 75. So, you know, almost our top 80 are Stellar 2 or higher, which is a very, very strong server. If you look at overall personal power across all servers, Julia and Storm are 22 and 24. So obviously we don't have like the crazy psycho whales, but we do have very strong players, and we definitely hold our own for server versus server. I am recently in TaT. I used to be in TCS. I went to play on a different server, and when I came back, something happened, and now I'm in TaT. TaT is really sweet. It's there's a lot of people here that play from Germany, and the chat is still mostly English, but there's still quite a bit of German, and there's a lot of people that speak both English and German in the alliance. In TCS, people don't really even talk about the game. They mostly just chit-chat about life. So it's just a very fun family atmosphere. But it used to be a really, really hardcore alliance. So there are a lot of really good players there, and a lot of really strong players there that have a lot of skills and knowledge. As far as trap times go, TCS's trap time is right after reset. It's like 1 UTC. I'm pretty sure it's about 1 UTC. It's right after reset. They favor the 2 UTC syrup time, and I think they only do 1 syrup because pretty much everybody wants to play at that 2 UTC time. In TaT, our trap is at 18 UTC. The 2 syrup times, our main time is 19, and the secondary time is 14. And then for PTP, their trap time is 13 UTC, and their syrup times are 12 and 14 UTC. So yeah, if you look at the alliance, we only have 14 on our inactive list for an alliance and for a server this old. That's actually really awesome. We've recently had 2 of our smaller alliances on the server merge with us. So we have a lot of very strong, very knowledgeable players, and we also have less experienced players that have recently joined a larger alliance, so there's a lot of stuff that they don't know. So I do still send out group messages with reminders about the events to try to remind people, like, tomorrow is a gathering day, pop your gathering buff for maximum points. Tomorrow is a points for soldiers day, so have them ready to go in your barracks, ready to collect, that kind of thing. But I am a very competitive person, and I would love to see us number 1. The alliance is super sweet, so very much like TCS, TaT has been very friendly. I actually used to be kind of a rival with them, having been in TCS. We were rivals with PTP and TaT. And now that server versus server has been going on, the server is, as a whole, a lot more friendly to each other, a lot more friendly in world chat, and I would actually say is actually really nice in world chat. It used to be kind of toxic. There used to be a lot of like blah, but you know, war game. People follow the rules here. We have a nap, even with nap. I think it's nap 10, but people don't really attack each other on this server. That being said, please only come if you're a good person. Really, 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 I'm kind of sick of dealing with toxic trolls, and we have a lot of very strong players on this server, so if you want to come and be a toxic troll, we will shut that shit down so fast you have no idea. So anyway, I hope that when Migration opens, you'll think about coming to 5. If we get a ton of people that come into 5, we have some alts that we could move to a farm alliance to make room for you. If we go beyond our like 15 inactive players that we can remove. But it's a really cool alliance. It's a really cool server. There aren't very many servers with a couple of alliances at the top. So to have 3 really good, strong alliances on this server with all very different trap times, I think it's a great server to migrate to. I was not a huge fan of PTP personally. We have a lot of history from, you know, April when this server opened. But I've talked to their leader. They've grown a lot. And now that we've had, like I said, these server versus server, and we've been working together, it's actually a really, really nice server, and all 3 alliances would be a good idea. I'm hoping that TaT can pick up a few extra really strong players, because like I said, we have actually quite a few we have quite a big roster. We had 62 register for block, which I know is not like, it's not 100, but 62 is pretty amazing for a server this old for because we just don't have anybody even to recruit. And we do have big active players, so all of these people are still playing. And you can see our leaders. We do have a large collective leaders. A lot of us have more than one account that are all listed here, but multiple stellar fountains, a lot of experience playing the game. But like I said, still very friendly, very newbie friendly. I've sent out messages like, we have citadels coming up at this time, and people respond back like, what's a citadel? What do I do? So I absolutely don't mind explaining that to people, and we're more than happy to catch you up on your strength. We have a great server. We are really high ranked in a lot of the events, so we don't mind taking on smaller, weaker players, and we will build you up. But I would really, really, really love some more 3+ stellar fountains in the Alliance. That would be so cool. I'm going to be able to move my 4 accounts from server 28 here soon, so I'm very excited about that. So I'll have a stellar 4, 2 stellar 3s, and a stellar 1. And I can't say enough about our R5 Julia. She is super sweet. She's a great leader, and she's also just a really nice person. It's a great server. It's a great alliance. Really hoping people join TaT, but even if our trap time isn't a good time for you, I highly recommend TCS. They're really cool people too. People seem to like PTP. Like I said, there's history there, but they have actually been really cool lately, and I've been working with them. Just please join TaT. But if PTP has a better trap time for you, everybody that can join our server and help make us stronger for server versus server is awesome, and I hope to see you. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'm Jane on Discord. You'll see a picture of my Katniss jumping. So this is me on Discord. If you have any questions, I am in the Cat Dog World server. You can also message me personally. You can also ask questions as a response to my videos. I always respond back to those when I see them. I hope to see you soon, and fingers crossed for migration soon. I really am ready to get off of my other server. A few of the things I wanted to mention. We have a Stellar Research Institute, which I think is only on 2 or 3 servers, so that is really cool. It allows you to specifically buff warriors, assassins, or cavalry. And this first one increases march capacity, which is always awesome. So this is the ranking for block conquest, and TaT is number 6. And then PTP, who is then number 1 on our server, is number 7. TCS is number 15, so they're in the 3rd bracket. But we're all in the Valor League, so very exciting. On our server, the way we do citadels and strongholds is that we divide things 3 ways starting at week 4. So TCS, TaT, and PTP all get 4 citadels and 1 stronghold assigned to them. The 4th stronghold is then a PvP stronghold that we can all register for. So I have a video specifically about how Server 5 breaks their citadels and strongholds down, but basically we had everything divided 4 ways for our top 4 alliances. One of those alliances migrated off the server last time. Now we've got the 3 categories, so you've got the TCS section, the PTP section, the TaT section, and this 4th section that was for the alliance that left. We now have our 4th and 5th alliances that I said are like, they have 15 to 25-ish active players, are assigned to week 2 and then 1 to 2 week 3. So it maximizes the rewards. It's very organized, maybe a little OCD. And then the way the strongholds work is that PTP has 1, TCS and TaT each have 1, and then week 1 we have all of those smaller alliances go for a specific one, and then that one then becomes the PvP stronghold for the 3 top alliances. I can't believe I almost forgot to mention that we also all have really big, beautiful bases to keep you safe from server versus server enemies or killing event kind of things. So this is my alliance in the periwinkle. I also had some help, but we added all of these light blue and dark blue to the outside. So the closest people can go is kind of like where this stronghold is, but it's still 8 flags deep. So nice and built in. This mustard colored is an allied alliance, so they are here. And we still have a ton of flags, so I'll try to build up on that side and that side for them. And then they're coming from this side to do flags on this side. So they'll have a nice built up alliance too. And then TCS has a big, beautiful base that was built by a guy named Rabid. We really miss and love him. He probably hasn't played, I think it was like 4 months now or so that he hasn't played, but he was awesome. We really miss him a lot. But that's where their trap is, and they've got all of that built up. And all 3 of the top alliances have their max labs. The smaller alliances, TaT's been recently working with DOC, so they have 6 of their 8 labs, and they should get a 7th one soon. I'm pretty sure Prue has all 8 labs. They're not all max labs, but they do have all 8. So, like I said, it's a very well-rounded server with a lot of really awesome alliances that are strong. So for an old server, this is pretty awesome. And it's got old server vibes. It doesn't have the toxic new server stuff. So I'm really hoping we get some cool, strong people to add to the server and no toxic, obnoxious people. Please, please, please.